What if I told you that one of the most stunning attacks of the war was pulled off not with fighter jets, not with cruise missiles, and not with a giant army crossing a border, but with small drones hidden inside wooden sheds on trucks? It sounds like fiction. It sounds impossible. But on June 1st, 2025, Ukraine launched Operation Spiderweb, a long-prepared covert strike that reached deep inside Russia and hit strategic air bases thousands of kilometers from the front. The shock was not just in the damage, it was in the method. Cheap drones, careful planning, and ruthless timing combined to humiliate one of the world's largest military powers. In this video, we're breaking down how Ukraine pulled it off, why the attack mattered so much, and why military planners everywhere are still studying it. Because Operation Spiderweb was not just a daring raid, it was a warning. And by the end of this story, you'll understand why the impossible suddenly looks very possible. The first reason this operation stunned the world is simple. Ukraine did not strike a trench line or a border outpost. It struck deep inside Russian territory, including the Belaya Air Base in Irkutsk, more than 4,000 kilometers from Ukraine. Other targeted bases were tied to Russia's long-range aviation, the part of the force that has repeatedly launched missile attacks on Ukrainian cities. These were not symbolic targets. They were some of the most valuable aircraft in Russia's arsenal, including Tu-95 and Tu-22 bombers, with Ukraine also claiming A-50 surveillance aircraft were among the targets. For years, these bases were considered relatively safe because of their distance from the war. Operation Spiderweb shattered that assumption. Now here is where the story becomes extraordinary. According to Ukrainian officials and reporting from Reuters and the Associated Press, the drones were hidden beneath retractable roofs inside wooden shed-like structures. Those structures were loaded onto trucks and moved close to the targeted airfields. At the chosen moment, the roofs opened remotely, and the drones launched straight from the trucks toward parked aircraft. Think about what that means. Ukraine did not need to fly large strike platforms all the way across Russia. It brought the launch points to the targets. That single idea changed the geometry of the battlefield. And that was only the beginning. President Volodymyr Zelensky said the operation took more than a year and a half to prepare. He also said 117 drones were used, and that operatives involved in the mission were withdrawn from Russia before the strike. If that is accurate, then Operation Spiderweb was not merely a drone attack. It was an intelligence operation, a logistics operation, a deception operation, and a precision strike all rolled into one. The drones may have been the visible part of the mission, but the real weapon was planning. What made the attack even more powerful was the kind of targets it went after. Strategic bombers are not ordinary aircraft. They are expensive, scarce, and deeply tied to Russia's long-range strike capability. Reuters later reported that US officials assessed around 20 aircraft were hit, and about 10 were destroyed, which is lower than Ukraine's initial public claim of 41 aircraft hit. But even the more cautious estimate is serious. These are not machines a country can replace overnight. Western aviation experts told Reuters that replacing damaged or destroyed bombers of this class could take years, especially because many of the affected aircraft are older Soviet-designed platforms that Russia cannot easily reproduce at scale. That is why Operation Spiderweb mattered beyond the headlines. This was not just about burning planes on a runway, it was about forcing Russia to confront a dangerous truth. Distance no longer guarantees safety. Expensive airframes sitting in the open can be threatened by systems that cost a tiny fraction of their value. And even if only part of Ukraine's damage estimate is correct, the cost exchange is brutal. Low-cost drones were used to threaten assets worth hundreds of millions of dollars each. That is the kind of math that keeps generals awake at night. There is also a psychological layer here that cannot be ignored. Military power depends on more than weapons. It depends on confidence, routines, and assumptions. Russia believed these bombers, sitting far from the front, were relatively protected. Ukraine proved otherwise. Worse still for Moscow, the imagery that emerged after the attack showed aircraft burning in places that were supposed to be insulated by geography. The message was devastating. If Ukraine could smuggle launch systems close enough to hit strategic bombers in the deep rear, then nowhere feels completely untouchable anymore. And that is why analysts quickly described Spiderweb as a glimpse of the future of warfare. The Council on Foreign Relations argued that the strike demonstrated how low-cost precision attacks are becoming available not just to major powers, but to smaller states as well. In other words, this is not only a Ukraine story, it is a global military story. Every country that relies on concentrated air power, large fixed bases, and expensive platforms now has to ask the same terrifying question. What happens when the enemy does not attack from the sky in the traditional way, but quietly places the sky next to your fence line? There is another reason this operation stands out. It exposed the power of adaptation. Ukraine has spent much of the war compensating for shortages in aircraft, missiles, and traditional strike systems by innovating with drones. Operation Spiderweb pushed that logic to an entirely new level. Instead of matching Russia symmetrically, Ukraine attacked asymmetrically. Instead of trying to overpower Russian air defenses in a direct contest, it bypassed much of the defensive problem by infiltrating the launch mechanism itself. That is the essence of modern adaptation. Do not fight the enemy where he is strongest. Change the shape of the problem until his strength becomes irrelevant. The timing made the strike even more dramatic. It came before a round of talks in Istanbul, instantly changing the mood around the conflict and reminding everyone that battlefield leverage and diplomacy are linked. Reuters reported that US officials viewed the operation as highly significant, even while disputing Ukraine's higher damage estimate. That tells you something important. The story was never just the number of bombers. The story was the breach. A state under constant missile pressure had managed to penetrate the security architecture of a nuclear-armed rival and hit aircraft central to its strike reputation. And if you zoom out even further, Spiderweb exposed a weakness that militaries around the world have been slow to solve. Modern armed forces love expensive platforms because they project power, but those same platforms often sit on predictable bases, follow known maintenance patterns, and depend on layers of security that can be studied, probed, and bypassed. Operation Spiderweb was a brutal reminder that the age of autonomous warfare rewards ingenuity as much as industrial power. The side with fewer resources can still create outsized strategic effects if it finds the one blind spot the stronger side never thought would be exploited. This is partly factual reporting and partly inference drawn from the operation's method and impact. Of course, there are still debates about the final damage numbers, and that matters. Ukraine claimed much heavier losses than some later US assessments suggested. Russia, for its part, said damaged aircraft could be repaired. So the exact tally remains contested. But that uncertainty does not erase the significance of the mission. Even a lower confirmed number still makes this one of the most remarkable Ukrainian strikes of the war. What do you think was the most shocking part of Operation Spiderweb? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and if you want more deep, cinematic breakdowns of modern warfare and global power, stay with us for the next one.